Hey YouTube. So I've got some stuff to show you. I've decided that this coming week, starting today, I'm going to be making a game. I'm going to try and make a game within the span of 1 week, and I don't think I'll be able to get it nice and polished by the end of this week, but I think I'll be able to get it playable, and then hopefully it won't be too far away from being a polished final game by that point. But I just kind of want to see how far I can get, and I want to actually finish something soon. So, yeah, this is going to be my goal. I figured I made a whole list of different games that I thought might be doable for me within a week, but that would also be fun to play when they were done, or relatively fun to play when they were done. And the one I arrived at is Starfox. I essentially just want to make a game that feels like Starfox 64, but is a little more modern. In fact, 100% more modern. And it's fueled a little bit by the what I wish Starfox Zero had been, and it's fueled mostly by just me wanting to make something fun, and realizing that I was able to put this together. I guess maybe I should show you something since this is a video. So I'm going to show you what I was able to put together today. Some of this stuff is cobbled together from things that I've already had before this point, but today I played with the sequencer, which is a new feature in Unreal, and I've created this opening cinematic for the level, which you will see hopefully happening, yeah, right here. Now it's in its infancy. It's not a finished cinematic. It's going to have sounds and textures and a lot more stuff going on, but right now it looks like this. And we've got our guy, he's landed on this asteroid. There's going to be this close-up shot in a second, which is right here. It takes a little while, but it's going to focus on the character inside the cockpit of the ship. Now, keep in mind, this is my model of an R-Wing. It's going to change in the final game. I'm going to try and remove the Starfox IP from all of this and make it my own IP so that, I don't get a cease and desist order. But for now, for testing purposes, I'm just using the R-Wing model that I made because I already had it. So it looks like a Starfox game right now. But what I was able to do is create the cinematic, and it just seamlessly flows right into gameplay. Controls are not enabled until this point, and now you can shoot stuff, I'm so happy at how simple this was to do. Yeah, so significant progress has been made today. And if this does not get you excited, then you are not the same kind of Starfox fan that I am, because this makes me super excited. Anyway, yeah, now that I've shown that off, I guess I don't really have anything else to show, except I could zoom around and explain some of the more boring details. So this is what the sequencer looks like. And if you're familiar with editing programs like Premiere, Premiere being what I use, but there's plenty of other ones, this is this is very heavily inspired by that. It's very similar. It's very intuitive for someone who's used Premiere. So if we look at this, try to look at it all on one screen, I can take a look at any part of the cinematic, and the cool thing about this is I can edit what anything is doing with the keyframes right in here. So say we've got this camera right here, and I kind of don't like how right around this part of the shot, it looks like it's framed a little too high. Like, if we're focusing on the character down here, we don't need all this sky up here. So I'd rather have the framing be a little more focused on this guy here. So what I'm gonna do, this is that camera actor, and I'm not being super organized with it, but I'm just gonna change the rotation a little bit, and it is going to whoop. It's gonna calibrate the shot to match these values. Now, normally you could just edit things within the viewport and then just set a keyframe. These are the keyframe buttons. But since I've attached this camera to the actual asteroid that we're looking at within the attach track, it's kind of behaving a little weird. I'll set keyframes on things, and then it'll offset the object a long ways off, and I don't like that. I don't know why that's happening, but I can make do with just the number sliders. So now, actually, let me bring back up the sequencer. Now, if I were to play this, we've got a little better curve going on. Some kind of motion blur happening here. That's crazy. I didn't intend for that. But we've got a better framed shot for when the character's in there. Now, I anticipate when I actually bring in my new model after I've modeled it for the ship, the cameras are all going to have to be moved around, but that's okay. Tweaking the keyframes a little bit is super easy. Now that I've got all this laid out, which only took, mind you, a few hours in the first place, but now that I've got it all laid out, I'm in a really good spot with the first minute or so of this level being just the intro video. But yeah, I'm super excited about this. It's so nice looking, and it feels perfect. It feels just like what I would want in a Starfox game. So yeah, I think that's all I can think of to show for this project right now. Oh, you know what? I can show a couple more things. So if you look at this guy, it's just an image that I cobbled together out of Photoshop may be frozen. Anyway, you can still look at it. This is a concept that I've kind of cobbled together from pictures and from my own just sketching of kind of what I want my game to look like. Notice this is not an R-Wing anymore. It is a fighter of some other kind. But what is going on? Maybe it's sequencer. I'm gonna close some stuff. Just see if I can get Photoshop. Oh, there we go. Okay. Not much more to the scene, but now you can see the whole thing. Thought this was just a cool kind of. It gave me a better idea of what I wanted to go for. I really like the idea of the engines being little rings, and maybe these red lights indicate something actually to the player. Like maybe those are the brake lights, or maybe those are like the overheat lights. I don't know if there's going to be any overheating, but maybe they actually have significance in the game rather than just being lights. I'm not sure yet. Here's another concept that I've just made really quickly, just to kind of solidify in my own head what I want this to look like. and there's not that much to it, but it gives me a really good starting point. It definitely gives me a bit more inspiration on what direction to take this. Yeah, so sorry if this video's been a little long-winded, but you've seen some cool things that I've been working on. I may texture this R-Wing someday, but not for this game. But look at all the little details that I put in. So nice. Anyway. Yeah. So there's that. And I will hopefully make a couple more videos in the future. Soon. Alright.